Something slightly different this time around. You may recall, if you've been watching my videos for a while, that some time ago I picked up this promotional tape that Mastertronic did, which was given away free with something, but I'm still not entirely sure what. If you do know, then please do let me know. But anyway, this tape features on one side a slideshow of Darling Brothers games, and on the other side a free game called Aqua, which was created by Mr. Chip Software. So we're going to have a look at both sides, starting with Aqua. Now obviously this just came as a tape, so there's no front cover for this, but I do have something in mind to look at in the way of a front cover as well. So let's check it out. Since this promotional tape that I'm loading doesn't have any inlay, I thought we'd take a look at the inlay of a game I'm never going to load. This is the Mastertronic Plus One, which features Bionic Granny and Jungle Story, which obviously I've been already reviewed individually. So there's the front cover of it. It says Plus One. Got the two original game covers, and it also says in the corner there, 2 games for the price of one on one cassette. Whether they're worth that $1.99 for 2 games is obviously debatable, given the games that they are. And the spine's got the names of the games on a grid style spine, Bionic Granny and Jungle Story, and it's got the loading instructions on the back. Obviously here's the tape, so we've got Bionic Granny on one side and Jungle Story on the other, and the Mastertronic logo on the tape. And then let's just take a quick look at the inside. We've got quick aim of the games section, Bionic Granny, Jungle Story, just the same text that was on the original inlays of the 2 games. And then inside you've got all your foreign language instructions and loading instructions and so on. So the game's loading, and as you can see, this screen's just come up. Big Mastertronic logo at the top there, and it says side 2 at the top. It's the side 2 that I'm loading. Free games cassette supplied by Mastertronic. Bit about the duplication, and it's also originated by AIP. Demonstrated games programmed by David and Richard Darling. That's the slideshow that's on one side, but more important for this is free game Aqua supplied by Mr. Chip Software. It says at the bottom there. That's the game that's loading. So here's Aqua, title screen, as it says at the top there, Commodore 64 game by T. Kelly. That's Tony Kelly, famous Mastertronic contributor as part of Mr. Chip Software. You can also see you can have 1 or 2 players, keyboard or joystick, and it says there, your job as a diver is to collect as many pearls from the reef as possible, avoiding contact with any of the inhabitants. Watch out, the rival companies have ways of dealing with trespassers. So we'll press fire to start. And as you can see, there's 2 boats at the top, and you control one of the little characters in the boat, who's a cute little guy with a big nose, as you'll see in a second. So the idea is you've got to collect these pearls, as you can see, on all these platforms, and also watch your air supply, which goes down as you're diving, and also avoid all the fish and crabs and other horrible creatures. These platforms, it's quite difficult to see, but some of them are moving one direction and some are moving the other, which makes it rather difficult and quite mind-numbing in some ways, quite mind-screwing in fact would be more accurate. So as you can see, I'm on a platform that's moving from right to left at the moment, and the idea is to try and collect as many of these pearls as possible and then get back up to the top before the air supply runs out. As you can see, gaps start to appear which make it more difficult to get up there. So I'll just nip up there and resupply my air there and then do the same thing again. The different creatures, some of them actually sort of run at you or swim at you quite quickly, others just sort of plod along. And while on the face of it looks like it's maybe a platform game or a sort of arcade action game, it's actually almost a puzzle game because of these problems where you've got to work out where you've got to go up and down to get up and down on the different platforms. I'm probably going to run out of air here. It's going to be rather close, that's for sure. Yeah, run out of air. So there goes my first life. You get 3 lives. There's a lot of brown on the screen, obviously. Otherwise, it's quite colourful. The characters are quite colourful. It's not the greatest graphics in the world, that is obvious. Very sort of indicative graphics of the time. It was 1984, this release, so pretty simple graphics. And obviously, this was a freebie given away on this promotional cassette, so probably not meant to be the greatest offering. But it's quite a nice little game. I'd say graphics and sound pretty straightforward, nothing to write home about for sure. Oh, I've stuffed that up massively now, I've run out of air again. Yeah, keeping an eye on your air supply is probably the most significant thing. I do like how the little guy sort of stands in the boat at the top and then he sort of drops down from the boat. I'd say graphics, animation, all that, pretty basic. But it's quite a nice little game. I imagine it's quite good fun as a 2-player game because obviously you're competing to try and get as many of the pearls as possible. Not a great deal more to say about it really, other than considering some of the games that were released for $1.99 by Mastertronic, it's a bit surprising this only made it out as a freebie because it's, as I say, quite a neat little game. Quite addictive as well because you think a lot of the time you think you've made a mistake but you could have avoided it, so you sort of try and go back and rectify that mistake the next time around. So yeah, not a bad little offering really. Just play through to the end of it. Obviously I can't say if it was worth $1.99 or not. Was it worth free? Yes, if you managed to get hold of a copy of this, I would say it definitely was worth free. I'll just carry on, see how much more I can get and show that there is also... Ooh, this could be dangerous. There is also a high score table on the game. It's very basic controls, it's just left, right and up to jump back up. You can only go down by dropping through the holes, you can only jump up when there's a platform above you, which again adds to this sort of difficulty. And I've run out of air again because I haven't been paying attention. But all the same, I've got 2,360, got my name in the high score table. A slight problem with the high score table is you can't press enter to finish entering your name, so you have to just press spacebar to fill all the spaces in. There you go, I've got the high score. So quite a nice little game, nothing spectacular, but certainly one of the better early offerings from Mastertronic. What I'm going to do now is flip the tape over and load the other side, which is a slideshow of Darling Brothers games, so just have a quick look at that. Usually it crashes before it reaches the end of the slideshow, so I'm not too optimistic that we've seen the whole thing, but we'll take a little look at it anyway. So this is the other side of the tape. As you can see at the top it says side 1, same title screen otherwise while it's loading, and the difference on this side is that rather than load a game in, it sort of loads a slideshow of the Darling Brothers early games, which is not something anyone really wants to see given what the most of them were like, but that's what it does. As you can see, the screen's now gone off and it will start to load various what can only be described as screenshots, but they are like pure grabs of the gameplay from the screen. Not quite sure how they did that. So as you can see, it's loaded up the introduction to Magic Carpet, fly gliding through the dangerous first cave, avoiding the many hazards, and in a second it will load the screen that it's referring to. There you go. Exciting stuff. And after a few seconds it then starts to load the second one. So as I've mentioned, the slideshow usually crashes, it doesn't load it all from the tape. There's the second screen from Magic Carpet. So I don't expect the whole thing to work, but what I'll do is, rather than talk you through it, I will put a bit of SID music on for a background, and if you really want to watch the whole thing, you can watch it as it loads. And the music I'm going to choose is the excellent music by Tim Follin from Agent X2, which I reviewed some time ago.